Hello, just wanted to talk about some random things tonight, kind of talk about this year and how things have been and show my thanks to the fellow creators and community who have been very supportive in 2019. So, huge thank you to those people like Viper, Tech King Mike, LeBaron Burton, Tech for Your Needs, Art Dog, Dr. Donna Walter, Tech Lovin' Mama, Gadget Goddess, Tana So Lit, and Eric from Easy Computer Solutions, and everybody who has supported my channel, allowed me on their streams, supported me over on Twitter, and helped me to grow so far. A huge shout out and a thanks to all you guys. I also wanted to kind of discuss some of the things I've noticed as a new creator and some of the not so good things that I've noticed, like people putting each other down, things like that, brands putting small creators down instead of supporting them, which doesn't look good on those brands. I will not name them because that's not up to me to do. Dr. Donald Walter, sort of. I plan on doing a stream Tuesday, but I know it might be busy, so I wanted to catch some people tonight with the hopes that maybe people will be free and be able to jump on tonight. I know during the week sometimes it's complicated, especially because some people have to work New Year's Eve and some people have to work the day after New Year's. So I just kind of wanted to give a shout out and a thanks to all my supporters, including you, and just kind of hop on and talk about my experience as a creator and some things that I've come to understand. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, I am extremely grateful for the fact that I've found a community of creators who build each other up instead of putting each other down. Because I've noticed a lot of complaints depending on who you kind of roll with, depends on how you feel about that. But most part, it's been good. There's been a lot of interesting lessons, and um, but it's been a good first year. I have, which about 5 months of it, I've actually been actively doing this. So I'm hoping to hit that 200 by the end of January. So that would be good. Um, there's a lot going on, Kenneth. A lot. Not We don't have shoveling going on here, but fortunately, we have kind of moderate temperature right now. I think it's 50 degrees out right now and rainy, so the snow's coming its way though. It's headed its way. It's going to be here um I think Tuesday and Wednesday maybe. So, but I got some new earbuds here, so I'm also testing those out, using those instead of my headphones. So, just kind of wanted to hop on and say happy holidays to everybody and thank you for all your support. And let's get into some tech discussion now. So, there's been a lot of rumors of the Pixel 4a. So let me see if I can pull up. pull up some renders here. Um, I'll use this one. So here's a mock-up over at PC Mag. Shout out to them and give them credit for this. Of the Pixel 4a with the punch hole on the front left screen and very similar look on the back of the phone, but they have kept the fingerprint reader. And it'll be interesting to see because it looks like to me there won't be any stereo microphone or stereo speakers or anything. It's just going to have the two bottom facing speakers and the USB-C, and it doesn't look like any headphone jack either. But it'll be interesting to see what processor they put in there. It looks to me that they're only using one camera. Um, but I have this theory that Google is almost intentionally doing this where their main line of phones is move this back here. Their main line of phones is priced higher, and then they come in with the A series like last year and or this year, I guess, and then this next year they come in with a lower margin, $400 to $500 price range phone with about the same abilities, just with a slightly slower processor. And I don't know if it's intentional that they make their higher end, excuse me, I need a drink of water here, that they make their higher end devices um not very competitive, and then they come in with mid-rangers and lower range phones, or if that's just kind of unintentional. It was, let's see, 60s last week. Yeah, on Christmas Day it was, let's see, 50 here, and then on the 26th it was 55. So as far as other leaks, I have seen some um interesting leaks on Huawei's next phone, the with the P40 Pro, as far as design for that. Kind of reminds me of taking the Note and other curved edge devices and making that curve go on the top and bottom as well. So um looks beautiful, but it's just unfortunate because a lot of people buy their phones on carriers, and unlocked, and they buy them by payments. And these Chinese phones aren't available in the US that way. So we just kind of have to go with what's available here, or they have to bring a device that's in the $200 to $300 range. Doing without a headphone jack means trying to find a double end dongle. True, and there's been a lot of issues with that. I know that some of these Chinese knockoffs that were made for the iPhone um, really caused issues, and th- that there were actually a couple of stories that I heard where people had their device short out. So hopefully that isn't the case. What's going on with my? Hold on, just a second here. It's weird. My LG webcam was acting up there for a minute, so I'm not sure what was going on with that. So I just switched to the built-in one. I'm gonna clean off the LG and I'll switch back to it. Just give me a second here. And let's switch back. That's better. Must have been something on the lens or something because it was like massively flaring out and giving some weird glare. So little tech woes, I guess you would say here. So yeah, so it would either mean a double-ended dongle if they get rid of the headphone jack, or you have to use Bluetooth. And I think as more and more companies are offering even inexpensive Bluetooth headphones and earbuds that are good quality, that won't be as much of a concern. So, um, let's see here. On Amazon, I'll actually look. I'll find one for you. Okay. So here's an example where, for an iPhone of a splitter, it's only $8, and it's lightning and 3.5 millimeter. And I'm sure that let's see here. Cancel. SBC. I'm sure they make one for Android too. So, a matter of fact, I know they do because I've seen some out there. Let's see. Yep, right here. They're more expensive because USB-C is licensed. There you go. So $12, you can get one that's a splitter there. So you can charge and use headphones if you need to. That'll be nice for you to have your setup done because I'm sure that not only for your own streams, but instances where you want to hop on other streams and things like that, not having to worry about dropping or frame rates and clarity and things like that. So it represents your channel better. That's why I got my setup the way I did. I just posted a video of my setup today, by the way, if anybody hasn't seen that yet. Do mics have C connections? Actually, they do. Somewhat. I can show you here real quick, actually. No, I can't because I'm using it, but the my microphone setup, if you watch my video, I have the AKG P120, and then that runs with an XLR microphone cable into the Focusrite P120. And then out of that, there's actually a USB-C to USB into my computer, and that's also how it's powered. But if I use my USB-C adapter, or I should say USB-C to USB-C cable that I use to charge my Note 10 Plus, all I do is plug that cable from the back of the Focusrite, which is the audio interface that I use, and into the Note, and the Note will both charge it and allow the audio to pass through. I mean, I should say it will provide power and allow the audio to pass through. So, with an adapter, um, like, I have an adapter for my phone that I use for when I do decks, um, that is USB-C to USB-C and USB-A. So with that, I can basically plug the charging cord into the adapter and plug a USB to USB-C into the adapter, the C end into the Focusrite, and then the USB in the USB-C port at the other end of that adapter and runs to the charger on the wall. So I could use my Note to do my streams and just prop it up and go on StreamYard. And since it's just a website, I could do that. I actually planned on doing a video on that. And um, maybe Tuesday night, I'll come to you guys through the use of my phone with the good audio. Also, I actually figured out how to use USB webcam with an Android phone. The only problem is, hold on just a second here. The only problem with that is that it requires an app, and as far as I can tell, it's not natively built into Chrome. So mm, I can't really use it to do that. But as long as I prop my phone up, that will support up to I think 4K 30. So um, and YouTube only supports 720p. They've been allowing some people to do 1080p streaming, so we'll have to see how well uh, that works. But I was going to go with a normal USB mic, but um, this setup allows for more universal use as far as updating. So if I need a better audio interface, I just update that part of it, and if I need a better microphone, just update that part of it, and not have to worry about the whole thing. Also, um, since either the computer or the device powers the um, audio interface, it's completely mobile. I can grab my laptop, take off. I don't have to worry about plugging the audio interface in or powering the microphone through an external source. So it's just about as easy as a USB mic. It is a little bit more expensive because obviously there's the audio interface, but the microphone itself was $80. The audio interface was 120, and then the stand and cable um basically, by the time I was done throwing in taxes, it was $300, and then, I got, extended warranty on the microphone and the audio interface. The cable has a lifetime warranty, but those extended warranties added 2 years of replacement coverage for $50 between the 2, so $350 out the door, everything, and then, my laptop, I'm using the Mac Mini, 2012, and then I have the Logitech C920 for the webcam. So it's all really easy to set up. I'm sure basically anybody could do it. You just plug it in and you're good to go. Just got to make sure that the 48-volt power to the mic is turned on and I'm good to go. Plus this has live monitoring, so I got to find my adapter, but it's a 1/4 inch adapter. I could plug in wired headphones and monitor in live time to know if I'm clipping or anything like that. Um there's also a light ring around the gain control that tells if I'm clipping or not and if I'm being picked up. So right now it's showing green, so every time I talk, It flashes green when I stop talking, it stops. So, um, yes, that does plug into the computer. That's what I'm using right now, and you can tell it's pretty clear. I either use that or sometimes when I join people, I use my phone, but um, the limitation on the phone is, of course, unless I have it plugged in, battery life, where with my laptop, I almost always have it plugged in. Um, but with the phone, you can just take that anywhere. Although multitasking and doing things like sharing the tabs like I did, you have to be on a computer to do that. So, yes. Hopefully you all can hear me because I just bumped and turned that down. Oops. Um, it was good to hear your voice, Dr. Donna Walter. It's funny because we see these people on here and interact with each other, but um, even just putting a voice, kind of now I hear your voice when you write, so it's kind of funny to me. So, let's see what else. Oh, I know that Viper's gonna be on in about an hour and 10 minutes doing his end of the year stream, and he's invited some people. He's invited people to join him, so I'll probably keep this setup up and um, join him at some point. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put those down below, and I'll answer as thoroughly and as honestly and as well as I can. I wonder what I sound like as we can't hear ourselves the same way others do. That's true. Unless you record your voice, and then that's just based on the quality of what you're using to record. Because, like, when I'm talking right now, there's two different things going on. One, I don't know what it's sounding like being picked up through my microphone and after all the compression and showing up to you guys, hopefully good. And also, I'm getting kind of reverberation because of having earbuds in and that sound coming through, and then it also comes through my jaw, so I'm getting a kind of a more hollower sound of my voice, and it sounds deeper probably to me than it does to you guys. Um, I've always I've always kinda hated my voice, to be honest, so I don't really, um I don't know. Voices are an interesting thing because I think most people don't like the sound of their own voice. I know professional musicians that don't and things like that. So, um, what else? Oh yeah, so I also kind of have an announcement. I think I'm going to be switching modes come 2020 a little bit and start doing a weekly news series covering things like um other channels that do reviews and recommending them because obviously I can't cover everything. And also just kind of what's going on in general, not just doing hardware because, can't afford to buy every device every time it comes out and things like that. So, Chica came up in your recommendation. That's cool. Um, well, thanks for stopping in for a short amount of time, even though you're out of here now, but I appreciate it. Um, I'm on here usually every Tuesday, so if you want to stop on by, come on by, ask questions, whatever. I talk about things tech related, talk about things life related. So as far as that goes, I actually kind of wanted to hop on here not only to thank all the people that support me, but to kind of talk about do a little real talk here and talk about um so Zach Talks Tech. Um kind of was talking about his health and things like that. Oh, okay. Well, I do some gaming. I actually built my own PC with the intention of doing that and using it for editing. The only unfortunate thing is I don't have the space to set it up permanently all the time, so I've gone away from that. But so what I was saying is, so I don't know that I've mentioned this before, but I had situations where I ended up in the hospital quite a few times due to passing out and heart rate dropping and things like that. And I would go in, they would test my blood, they would test my blood sugar, they would check my heart, check my lungs, check everything. And they wouldn't find anything. Then one day I was on my way to work, driving down the road, got lightheaded, hard breathing, felt like I was gonna have issues, so I pulled off the road. I called 911 and ended up it was basically they brought me in, they tested everything. They're like, "Well, we don't have any conclusive answers either." But the ER doctor said, "Oh, you have," and he didn't really have a term for it other than an issue where when I go from laying down horizontal to vertical or vertical to horizontal too fast, my heart rate shifts and it can make me nauseated because it's kind of along the symptoms of anxiety and panic attacks, but not always caused by, um okay. Yeah, adrenal, kidney, can be that, but, I had a heart rate monitor on, didn't notice any heart issues. I've had my blood sugar tested, didn't notice any issues. So, basically, what I did some research after I got out of the hospital and found out that if I can do some meditation and control my breathing, I can determine whether it's gonna cause me to pass out and things like that. So, in situations like white coat syndrome, going to the doctor's office and maybe causing me to panic, I do have this breathing where I kind of you breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. And basically, it's called like the 3-5-8 technique. So you breathe in for 3 seconds, hold it for five, out for eight. And it's supposed to subconsciously cause your heart to balance out, or if it's going too fast, to slow down. So um, I had an Apple Watch a while back. I had the first generation, the sports model. My mom has that now, and then I didn't have one. I was thinking, they now put these heart rate monitors in there. So my wife and I both got one now. For me, it's a huge help because I wear it all the time. If I don't have my phone on me, I got my watch because if I were to fall or pass out in the middle of the night, it will automatically alert people and it will call 911 after a certain amount of time. So I don't want to be stuck somewhere with issues. So for me, being able to monitor my heart rate and do things like, let's see here, go in, see if I can get it here, go to heart rate monitor, and you can see here heart rate. And then also there is EKG, I mean ECG. So if I just hold on here for 30 seconds, you can see it's tracking my heart rate and It's gonna show a little high right now because I'm sitting down, I'm on live stream, and I'm kind of at a weird angle, but anyways, um, it will monitor and determine if I have any issues. So let this finish up and I'll show you what it looks like in the end. Inconclusive. So, and then that gets saved to my iPhone and I can check it. I can submit it to my doctor and they can let me know what's going on. So, yep. Oste- Orthostatic presyncope. Exactly. And it's why I make sure I drink plenty of liquids and have Gatorade and things like that before I get blood drawn or get a shot or anything like that because apparently my body thinks that it needs all the liquids it can possibly have. So as far as, people saying, "Oh, there's other smartwatches that are as good as the Apple Watch and things like that." For me, the fact that it monitors my heart rate every 5 minutes throughout the day, I can go in and do an ECG like that. I can check my heart rate whenever I need to. I can ask it to do it. So what's really cool is I can do things like press and hold the button so I don't trigger it, but I can do things like this. What's my heart rate? And it automatically brings up the thing. Open ECG. And it brings it up to my last one and I could check it again. Um, Step tracking is huge. Um, I haven't gotten into this yet, but I know that there are plenty of apps that do this as far as you can keep track of your calorie intake for dietary needs because I used to have a huge issue with eating a lot of sweets and not enough protein, and that causes some huge heart issues. Um, so for me, anything tech related, anything health related is a good thing to be able to um oh, they are FDA approved actually. That was one of the things that they announced and actually brought on a doctor from the board when the Series 4, which is what I have, was released to announce that the FDA has approved the function on the iPhone because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to release it because they have to pass the approval to be able to put that on there. So, um, for me, what would be more significant is to be able to bring the blood-free um, blood sugar and oxygen checking technology to the Apple Watch or any smartwatch in general because I would love to be able to sit there and check my O2 level. So, yeah, I have the Series 4, Apple Watch. The Series 5 has it too. But if I were to recommend, I would get the Series 4 because for one, they're cheaper. Also, battery life. People have been struggling with battery life on the Series 5. Even with turning off the always on display, people have had some issues. So I would definitely recommend the Series 4 over the Series 5 if you're looking for one. I've heard good things about Samsung's Galaxy Watch, and hopefully I can get my hands on one of those eventually. That would be nice. All of those usual regular vital checks for basics would be nice. Yeah, it would be because even if you don't have a condition, for example, The Apple Watch will let you know if your heart rate gets above like 120. Um, if you fall, it can be used. So instead of having to pay a service, if you have an older person in your life that might be prone to falling, um, or needs to get a hold of you, all you'd have to do is have an Apple Watch. They just have to remember to charge it. The only problem is at night. Um, if it's on the charger and they fall, but they charge up so quickly that if you just, put it on the charger, it's on there for half an hour, whatever, take it off, put it on, charger again, it could be cheaper. I know some people pay, I think my grandma pays, I don't know, I think it's like $30 to $50 a month for the service that she has. So in a year, she pays more than an Apple Watch would cost. And then some people don't necessarily need it on all the time. But the idea that it just looks like a watch, so it doesn't look like you're, um, using some special device would be helpful because I know, like, when my grandma was first before she passed away, when she first had Alzheimer's, trying to convince her certain things was difficult, so I just saw your message, yeah. Depending on the service, correct, $30 to $50 average. So, if you think about that, I'm guessing that when the next Apple Watch comes out, Series 4 will be down to maybe $200 because I know that right now, yeah, I think you can get a Series 3 for under $200, which is 2 generations old. So when the next one comes out, Series 4, and that has a lot of those functions. And I know I had to turn it off or I had to turn it on because by default, if the function that monitors if you fall is off unless you're 65 years or older. So when you set up the device and you put your birthday in, for me it would be off. So I went and turned that on and have it set up so if I slip and fall, it calls somebody. Um, I know a lot of smartwatches do that. When I had my Samsung Gear S3, I did that and it went off and it called, well, it sent a message to my wife, message to my sister, to my mom. It called my dad, and I was out snow blowing, and all of a sudden, I'm, like, hearing this voice come from my watch, and my dad's like, "Hello." I was like, "Did you call me, or did I call you?" Whatever. Well, apparently, what it does is it calls whoever you set up on the top of your list to have it call, and then automatically connects them through, so if you fell and you passed out, you don't have to worry about answering it. I haven't tested it because with my Apple Watch because it also calls 911 if I test it with that, and I don't really want that to happen. So, Alzheimer's is tough on both for the person and those around them. Yes, it really is, because they don't understand why they're not remembering. My gr like, my grandma at first, she knew she wasn't remembering things. She knew she was forgetting, so that's difficult. That's the other thing is reminders, um in smart devices, I wholeheartedly believe that these devices have more of a potential use than we look at them because if you have a loved one who has a hard time remembering things, you could, even an inexpensive smartphone, setting up reminders, and then you just have their Gmail account on your device, and you put a reminder and it syncs to theirs, and they get a notification, hey, take your pills at 6 o'clock tonight or whatever. It would be handy, and if they have a smartwatch paired to it, it just pings right up. Um, for me, that's huge. Grocery lists, it allows somebody to still have the freedoms that they might otherwise lose without these devices. So for me, that is a huge deal. Um, so for me, That's significant deal. And what's incredibly amazing to me is that these things, let's talk about these real quick. I'm gonna put the other one in my other ear so it doesn't mess me up. So for me, the Soundcore Liberty 2s, I got those on Amazon. I'll actually put a link real quick. Let me do that. I should be able to do that. Sorry, hold on here a second. Um, Had both feet operated on this year and found myself on the ground more than once, clamping around in the surgical boot, but never whacked my head. Well, at least you didn't whack your head. That's good. Let me put the link here real quick. So there's a link to these, and right now they are $89 because there's a $10 coupon. But just watch out because I got them for basically $60. They are 99.99 normally, and they had a $40 coupon on Amazon for them. Um, Actually, up until like the day before Christmas, I think it was. Yeah. So so far with my couple days of using these, what's been really nice is, let's see here. I'm still at full charge on there, and then each of them gets 8 hours on per charge and up to 3 extra charges, so 32 hours of charge. Haven't been able to set up an affiliate account with Amazon. I haven't because they're very particular about, as far as I've found, like having to have a high number of viewers to get that, but I'll have to check that out, and if I can get one, then what I'll have to do is start posting that in my videos as well as in my stream. Um, Actually, let me check here. The associate program. Do not have permission. Oh, okay. It says that my account was already connected and that I should have gotten an email. So I'll have to figure that out. Um, Cause that's pretty cool. Cause I can get up to, it says 10% back from that. Hey, Joan, how are you? Thanks for stopping on by. Thanks for being one of my supporters and, getting on the phone and giving me a lot of advice and kind of knocking me in the head too when I needed it. So, um, I'm good. So as far as affiliate link, apparently I can. I thought you had to have a certain number of like subscribers or views or something on YouTube to qualify for that. So, I'll have to check that out because that would be awesome because, as many purchases as people make on Amazon, it doesn't cost anybody any extra, but if people buying a few $100s worth of product, whatever, if it's up to 10% back, that's pretty cool. So, I'll definitely have to look into that because as of right now, I don't get anything for being on here with my subscriber count, and I don't even know if actually, I have to look into something here. Yeah, you can't even do, um can't do super chats yet either, I don't think so. Um, I'll have to find the email. I'll have to, um check for it or maybe get a hold of them and see if they can send it to me again because so here's the issue. Actually, I have multiple Amazon accounts and I my original account I got locked because of some issues and had created a second account and that's what I'm signed into all the time. So hopefully, you know, cuz that would be awesome. Because I've seen some smaller channels, make a couple $100 a month from people going and buying stuff, and so you crack me up, Doctor. Mach, not mop. I think you meant MPTT, but that's all good. Cracks me up. So, yeah, I didn't even really know much about Amazon affiliate until I started watching El Jefe reviews because I know that um his take this out. I know that his channel, he, is always talking about using his affiliate link if you're going to purchase an item or whatever and things like that. So that's pretty awesome. Um, and pretty important. And, like you said, every little bit helps. And, so, um, oh, Joan, I need to tell you these things right here, incredible. Like, even at their full price, even at 99.99, right now they're $10 off on Amazon. I got them for $40 off. Are just so good. Like some of the reviews I watched, they said that the twos don't live up to that of the pros, and you know because they don't have the coaxial drivers that they're not as good and that, the separation isn't as good. Oh, I put them in and ooh, that bass is heavy. I called and talked to my dad and it's like his voice was in the middle of my head. Like that experience for something like this that even at its full price is 40% of the cost of Apple's AirPods Pros and even, 20-30 dollars cheaper than the normal AirPods. You get, um, 7 total ear tips. You get, was it 4 different size ear wings, and it's just to me, it's incredible, especially with their app. The Soundcore app, I'll show you here real quick. Soundcore Liberty app. It's just the custom EQ and things like that is to me incredible, and the fact that they support iOS and Android is huge because yes, you can use AirPods with Android, and there are some developers that have made these apps that allow you to do the controls and things like that. But the fact that you have such customization with the controls, I have mine set up so that if I double tap the button on the right, it's volume up, on the left is volume down, press and hold on either one, it's the Google Assistant. You can have go forward track, back a track. Um, play and pause is always one press, and answering a call and ending a call is always one press. But just the call quality is substantial to me, that you get that noise isolation. You don't get the active noise cancellation like you get on the more expensive ones, but being able to get 32 hours of playback, 8 hours at a time is awesome. Like, I was using them for a couple hours the other day, and I was only down to 80% charge. So the ability to just, and they fit in your pocket, small. The one complaint I would have is, let's see, putting them in and out of the case, because the direction that they go in your ear, when you take them out, I have I naturally wanna put them in like this, and you kinda gotta flip them around to get those magnets, but those magnets are strong, like, those aren't going anywhere. They automatically just pull them right in there, and then when you open the case, the fact that they pair up to whatever device you're using them with just by sliding them open is really nice, and they tell you the battery life when you put them in your ear. You close it, they're good to go. You're not gonna just accidentally pop the case open and get lint and dirt in there and have them slide open. Um, Plus it's just fun to sit here and kinda tinker with and play with these things over and over again. So, I really, really, really am happy, and I may not be, an audiophile yet. I say yet because I might get there, but previously, these AKGs, I don't know, the N60s, NCs, they have active noise cancellation, were really nice, but the battery life isn't that long. You lose noise cancellation if the battery dies, so, um, even though they can be wired, just losing that is huge. So, for me, since I'm gonna be using Bluetooth earbuds all the time anyways, because I don't even know if I could tell you where my Lightning to 3.5 millimeter headphone jack adapters are, or I might be able to find my USB-C to headphone jack adapter, but that's as far as wired. To be able to sit there at night if my phone's getting low on battery, because I plug my phones in at night to charge, and just being able to set the thing there or prop it up and go wireless has been really, really, really convenient. And like, these do not feel cheap to me. So, um, they're sturdy. They charge with USB-C, and technically speaking, I could use a USB-C to USB-C cord, plug in from my phone, from my Note 10 Plus to this, or my Lightning to USB-C cord, and plug these in and charge them off from my phone. So, I've never used wireless before, have a pair, some off-brand I've yet to try. Always been a Dolby, plug them in headphones with 3 point. Yeah, that's the only thing is you're not gonna get that, um, flat quality, even because Bluetooth is limited, so even with the most expensive ones, I don't know that you're gonna get the same quality, and latency is a huge deal. So for gamers, wired is almost always the best way to go. Especially because if you think about, if you're going wireless and you hear that sound a fraction of a second late, and then if you're wireless with your mouse, you have that fraction of a second delay to react. That's huge. That's a lot of time to lose and a lot of time to gain back by going wired. And um but for me the convenience of just being able to, for example, um since these are paired to my iPhone, they're paired to my computer, I can just go in whatever device they're paired to last, they'll auto connect. But not having to worry about unplugging from one, plugging into the another, and going back and forth, unplug, plug in, unplug, plug in. The phone rings, I want to use headphones to talk. I unplug it from the computer, plug it into the. I can just go hit a button and they'll switch over. It's very nice. Jonah's right. It is time to check it out, especially as you've been um, what's the word for it? Exploring new technology and looking to get a new smartphone and things like that. And I know you had one sent to you and you had issues with it and you're gonna, given to you and you're gonna send it back. You had some issues with their was it the ZTE Exxon 10 Pro if I remember correctly. Correct me in the live chat if I'm wrong on that, but um and I mean, that's one reason I like my LG G8 still, and I turn it on and use it every once in a while is for that wired connection, but still, wireless for most people has gotten to the point where it's gonna be fine. I don't notice any delay between voice and audio with these, like, at all, and as far as battery life, you just plug it in when you plug your phone in. Um, as long as you get a pair that's gonna last for what you need them for, that's good to go. I mean, I said with these, basically, I could go a very, very long live stream on my own channel and then join Viper for a long live stream and be good to go, all set to go, and end a stream with him and probably join another stream. I mean, I could go 3 2.5 hour streams and still be good to go, and my phone would probably be dead before then. That's why I'm using my laptop, but, so I say hop on it, and, I'll, thank you again for pointing out the whole affiliate link thing. I kind of forgotten about it because I'd applied and I just assumed I didn't qualify because I didn't get anything from them. Um, so I'll have to check out that. I also kind of want to get in touch with Amazon as far as their streaming service. I know that there's been some people on there. I know that I think was it Travis has been on there and Trenton, I think. No, Travis has been on there. Well, I can't think um of who else. Oh, Kevin Breeze has been on there. He does a lot of inexpensive smartphone reviews. So if you haven't seen his stuff, go check it out and I'll post a link to his channel um in the comments and actually so anybody who's listening to this, they'll all be in the comments and a link to these earbuds will be in there as well. And if I can get an affiliate link, I'll post that in there too. Another expense to add to the list, I'm trying to set up to do 4K mobile videos and also need to pick up a gimbal mic and question as well as wait for the CC to release the money from the ZTE fee. Um, Oh, yeah, because 'cause you're gonna be mobile, so, one thing I would tell you about that, though, is that there are a lot of creators that found that, um, especially with the new iPhones and things like that, and even with, like, the Note, that the stability with video, the anti-shake that's built in with digital stabilization and physical stabilization is really good. So unless you got really, 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 really shaky hands, a lot of these phones, and I handhold most of my videos or prop it up, or sometimes I'll be sitting down and I'll actually just have like my knees up and a prop between my knees. So Osmo and Xeon, so yeah, make good cell phone gimbals. Yes, they do. DJI, Osmo, um, maybe creeping at the Capitol if they let me. I may have to settle going outside after each phone. Yeah. Yeah, so the Liberty 2 Pros went back up to normal price. The regular Liberty 2s like I have are $99 right now, but there's a $10 coupon, so 89.99, so basically $90. Um, and if you have Prime, shipping will be covered. If you don't, it's like 7 bucks or something. I would just pay for Prime for a month because you can pay for a month, and that would be basically enough to cover your shipping and things like that. Um, so I've done a lot of research as far as reading, watching videos, things like that into wireless earbuds, and I'm very, 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 very picky when it comes to audio and when it comes to deals. So, I almost got them, but here's what happened. I got a $60 gift card for Christmas, and it was, um I paid for the faster shipping, but it was $11.40 beyond that for my shipping and tax and everything, um, to get these, and it would have been another, like, $50 to get the other ones because they were still on sale at the time, but now the difference would be about $90 difference, um so for me, it was a matter of the gift card I had and things like that. So, yeah, I haven't really been able to find any other. There's a lot of compromises at the lower range once you get way down in there in price, whether it's like battery life, you're talking about really bad, like really low battery life, maybe 2 or 3 hours at most, and only a couple extra charges in the case. And they're really plasticky, kind of flimsy, no replaceable ear tips, things like that. So for me, that's a huge difference. I used to be, um, But basically, I go month to month, and it depends on how much I'm using it because I get a discount on Prime. Um, so um, I can pay like $6 a month, like half price for it. So what I probably should have just done was that, and then I would have it. But what I was finding when I was paying like $12 a month is if I didn't use it for a few months, then it really wasn't worth. I'd rather pay like the $4 or $5 or even like $10 for shipping once. But I need to get back into it because otherwise I'm gonna miss some of my Prime shows too, especially once some of these new seasons come back out for things like Bosch and oh, what's the show? Oh my gosh. The show where the guy is a con artist. Anyways, yeah, I need to yeah, bass and battery life are huge at the low end. I will tell you, I was listening to some music and I had to put these on bass reducer or flat because it was starting to rattle and hurt my head if I didn't do that. Like, that's how heavy and good the bass were, so I don't know if because other people were saying, "Oh, the bass isn't good," and this and that. Yeah, I don't know, I haven't been doing a lot of purchases lately because, I don't really wanna get into it, but income issues and, losing my job really didn't help with that, so, that's why I've been trying to get my drive in on YouTube and reaching out to companies and doing streams and helping other people out, things like that. Um, so we're getting by and, I'm doing my thing and um, hopefully things will turn around with this new year and we can get our car fixed and I can get a new job and um, so um, yeah, I don't so like $6 a month doesn't seem like much, but when diapers are like well, at one point we were spending like $100 a month on diapers between and then diapers and pull-ups $50 a month between the 2 at least, and, things like that, and my son, went from baby food to regular food and things like that. You start looking at things a little bit different, and so, um oh, so the New Year's coming up, and I am looking forward to maybe a little bit of a new journey as far as branching out and not just talking about um, hardware necessarily, but branching out into software, apps, things like that. Talking about um, the aging of the devices I've had so that people can kind of see the differences in um, between like LG and Samsung and Apple and um, yeah, I have a son. He'll be 19 months old on January 6th. So have a good night, Joan. Thank you for stopping in. God bless you. I'm probably gonna get off here in a little bit just because in about less than a half an hour, I think Viper will be on in about 25 minutes, and I need to rest my voice because I know he's in put up an open invitation and um so thank you for joining me and um I'll be back for kind of an end of the year thing. I did a little bit of that tonight, but I'll be back a little bit more prepared maybe on Tuesday. So, as always, this has been Michael Pepper Tech Talk. with an open live stream. Thank you for all who have joined me tonight and who watched this on the replay. Please, of course, remember to subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you know when I go live and when I post a video. Also, I posted 2 videos today, one for my setup and another one that was going over whether you can use um, earbuds with the native camera app on an iPhone as a wireless microphone or not. And no, you cannot. You can use it with some third-party apps. In You can actually use it with some built-in Apple apps like FaceTime and obviously for calls, and you can use it with Skype and things like that, but, I know you can use it with some third-party apps for videos and stuff. That will be my next test, and then I'm also gonna be doing, one on Android to see what Bluetooth devices it will support, if it will support earbuds. So, please check out those 2 videos I did today, and you all have a good evening and God bless.